Hello, professional fantasy football league players. Welcome to the weekly Waiver Wire show for Week 10. As always, I'm your host, Josh Martin. Thank you for listening. I do appreciate it. It's Week 10. There's only a few weeks left in the season, so I don't have a lot of waiver activity for you this week. I've got a few suggestions at running back, wide receiver, and tight end, but at this point, you pretty much know who your team is, who the players are, and we're just sort of filling in a couple of different spots. So not a lot of action on the waiver wire this week, I don't anticipate. But there are a few names that you should keep an eye on in case you need someone because of injury. For example, let's start off the ads at running back. If you have Darren Sproles, it looks like he's out indefinitely. I recommend adding Chris Ivory. Right now he is owned in 0% of PFFL leagues. He got 10 points last week, including a long touchdown run. And it looks like they're going to still split the carries three ways, but Chris Ivory is going to step right in for the Darren Sproles role now that he's injured for the next few weeks. Also at running back, I recommend James Starks from Green Bay. Alex Green has been ineffective so far as the starting running back. I think James Starks is going to start to get more carries. They have a favorable schedule coming up. They have a bye this week, which means he should be easy to pick up cheaply in your league. Then they go to Detroit, at the Giants, Minnesota, and then Detroit again. 3 out of 4, he should be very productive in those games. He's only 52% owned in all of PFFL. Last at the running back position is Mike Goodson. Darren McFadden went down with an injury to his ankle. He is out for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Goodson's going to get the bulk of the carries. He's going to share him with Tywan Jones and maybe Marcel Reese, but I think Goodson will get the bulk. Favorable schedule the next 5 weeks: Baltimore, New Orleans, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Denver. All teams that you can run on. At wide receiver, I think the Seattle offense is finally starting to click. Russell Wilson looks like he's putting things together. And the guy who's become his favorite target is Golden Tate out of Notre Dame. 16 points this week, including a touchdown. And I think he can be a productive wide receiver too, or at the very least, a good flex going into the playoffs. They have a favorable schedule as well, looking at the Jets, then a bye week, then Miami, Chicago, Arizona. Now, obviously, Chicago is not a very good matchup, but the rest of those, Golden Tate should shine. Next wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts, that's T.Y. Hilton. I told you about him a few weeks ago. He is starting to emerge as the downfield threat his scouting report thought he was going to be coming into this season. He's a speedster. He's a small guy. He's only 5'9", 197 pounds, but he's fast. Andrew Luck is starting to develop his deep ball at the NFL level, and T.Y. Hilton's going to see a lot of those. Currently 0% owned in all of PFFL, so if you need a wide receiver, he's the one to get. Or, if you're looking for a big play possession wide receiver, look no further than Denario Alexander of San Diego. Norv Turner came out this week and said that the rookie will be heavily involved even when Robert Meacham and Eddie Royal come back into the lineup. So if you need someone who had Denario Alexander, is 6'4", 207 pounds. This week they play Tampa Bay, who is the worst pass defense in the league. Then Denver, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. Alexander is 0% owned in PFFL. If you're desperate at your flex spot, that's the guy I recommend. Last guys to add this week are tight ends. Braden Myers from the Oakland Raiders leads the team in targets. He's only owned in 33% of PFFL. Schedule upcoming is the same that I gave you for Goodson: Baltimore, New Orleans, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Denver. Very favorable for tight end matchups. And Carson Palmer likes throwing to Brandon Myers in the red zone. He got another touchdown this past week. In Green Bay, if you are a Jermichael Finley owner, stay tuned. I'm probably going to tell you to drop him in about 3 minutes. But before that, I'm going to tell you to add Tom Crabtree. It looks like he's taking over for Jermichael Finley. He got 13 points this week, and he's getting almost all of the tight end targets. They have a bye this week, then Giants, Minnesota, Detroit, and Chicago. Last but not least on the list of guys I think you should add, it's Joel Dreesen, tight end for the Denver Broncos. He's getting all of the red zone production, and they also have a favorable schedule. Those are the guys I like to give you. He had 9 points this week, and he's only 19% owned in all of PFFL. Favorable schedule: New Orleans, Cincinnati, Carolina, San Diego, and then Kansas City. Dreesen's getting a lot more production than Jacob Tamme. He's the one that should be on your team. As far as guys you should drop, not very many this week. Like I said, I think we know who these players are. If you have them on your roster, most of them are probably going to stay there throughout the playoffs. But a few guys you can clean up your roster with. Michael Bush from Chicago. He's been shut out of the offense. Last 6 weeks, he's had 2 points, 4 points, then a bye, 3 points, 0 points, and then 2 points. So in the last 6 weeks, he has totaled 11 points. He's 95% owned in PFFL. If you own him, drop him. There's other running backs that are going to give you more production that can be on your bench just in case of injury. At wide receiver, Jonathan Baldwin. Nice sleeper coming into the year. Thought he was going to be more productive than he has been, but he isn't. He's 71% owned, and he should be dropped.